hands. He's about to feed people, so that's important. But there's a beautiful prayer that can go with that we ask God to cleanse not only our hands, but also our entire being, to prepare us to more worthily celebrate Mass. After that, we have what's called an amice, and this corresponds to the armor of God, right? This is why you always see a priest walking around like this at Mass, right? No, you don't. But it does correspond to the helmet of salvation. And the prayer that we say as we put it on is, "Place on my head, O Lord, the helmet of salvation, that I may fend off the assaults of the enemy." Right? And even if it's only literally on my head for a moment, and then I sort of put it back like a hood, that's really what it is, the helmet of salvation. So at Mass, there's a lot of external and also internal distractions that could be possible to focus on less important things than what I should be focused on. And so it's really a prayer to keep me safe from especially any spiritual attacks during Mass that might come my way and try to make me not say Mass as best I can. Right, so it goes like this, and the other thing it does is it covers my normal clothing. Right, so when I put my alb on, which is what I'm going to put on next, you won't see any trace of what's normal. Normal clothing for me is weird, but it's not the same as normal clothing for you. But still, it's not what I do all the other stuff looking like. I'm going to look different because what we do at Mass is a different kind of a thing. It's a ritual. It has a language of its own and all kinds of different stuff. Anyway. Sorry. There we go. This is an alb, and this is basically me dressing up as a big Christian baby. At least for those of us who are baptized as infants. This is the baptismal garment. When we baptize people, whether babies or adults, we point out, in order to explain what's just happened, see in this white garment the outward sign of your inward Christian dignity. And then the child is commanded. We talk to the little baby, even though we know he's not going to understand. Carry it unstained. Bring it unstained with the help of your parents and godparents into eternal life. So this I can wear because I'm a Christian. If you showed up to Mass looking like this, I would be wrong to turn you away. Because this is the baptismal garment. This is the thing that we all have in common for those of us here tonight who are baptized. And it's important that this underlies everything else. So all the priestly stuff I'm about to put on is really built on the foundation of the fact that the priest is, in the first place, baptized. And the prayer that we say as we put this on is, "Whiten me, O Lord," or "Purify me, O Lord, in the blood of the Lamb." Because that's what baptism has done for us, right? Good. Next we have a cincture, which is a belt or a tie type thing. And this goes around the waist, and in a special way this pertains to the discipline of celibacy. So the prayer we say is, "Gird me, Lord, with the cincture of purity, and extinguish within me the flames of concupiscence." So concupiscence is that tendency towards sin. It's not the same as guilt. It's not the same as having done something wrong. It's more like when you're tempted, but the devil's not doing anything, and he's just sitting back and enjoying the show because you're doing it to yourself. Because none of us are perfect, right? So this, in a special way, is a prayer for chastity, which is fitting for a celibate priest. Everybody's called to chastity, but a priest, at least most priests, have the discipline of celibacy as well. All right, and then I have a stole here. And these next two vestments, the stole and the chasuble, they come from Roman vestments, the things that actual civil officials wore, because the civil officials were also religious officials. So it was both kinds of power were in the same person, and so there's temporal authority and spiritual authority. Not that one is one and the other is the other, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of the image of two things, one hanging down on each side. And we remember what Jesus said to Peter. He said, "What you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, And what you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. And so the priesthood is especially associated with the power to forgive sins, which is what Jesus gave to Peter. Peter and the other apostles shared it with other men later on. So, this represents my authority, that I can in fact offer Mass. I'm qualified to do that because of ordination. All right, and then finally we have the chasuble, which has kind of two meanings. And again, it's descended or inherited from Roman vestments. And first of all, I'll share with you that it represents charity. And so I have this baptismal dignity, right? And I have this priestly authority. But the first thing you see when you see a priest during Mass should be, and is at least symbolically, charity. So as I offer Mass and try to love God during Mass, right? That's always through the lens of charity. And as I exercise my priestly authority in celebrating Mass, perhaps when I'm preaching, right? This might be important to remember. I have to do it through charity. So authority exercised through charity. The other meaning of the chasuble, and I think the reason it's called a chasuble, is because if I go like this, I'm kind of I'm by myself, right? I mean, you can all see my face, but if I close my eyes, I'm like an ostrich, with the head in the sand, and I'm kind of in my own little house. And so chasuble actually is similar to the word for house, right? So it's like, okay, the priest is praying. Okay, good. Make sense? All right, I'm going to take these off at this point and then go through the rest.